on top of his original talk, please?
Well, I have to say some great points from everybody, really good discussion points. A couple of things I'd like to highlight. Dan made some great points about how much effort you're putting up front here and who does it. And I'm glad he mentioned that because it's quite important. The more pre-selling you do, the better quality of the prospects, the better output you have at the bottom. And if you've got a team of people who can do pre-selling, sorry, put that back. But you have to be very clear on who's doing this marketing and who's doing this selling and where the handover point is. And that will always depend on if you're a small team and you do everything, then just be conscious of when you're doing marketing, when you're doing sales. If you've got people pre-selling for you, if you've got a telesales team, if you've got somebody else setting up appointments, be clear on what they do and what the handover point is and what it is that you do when it's handed over to you. Dan also mentioned that for him, it's also a bit of a circle. And as I mentioned, and I think also Jamie mentioned, we fell into the trap of not asking the what next question. And when you've got happy clients and champions, you need to think about taking them back to this point again as well and start asking them the questions and going through the process again. Because it's all about building that affinity and understanding and getting the clarity on what their issues are. Because unless you can build that rapport, in the sales process I used to teach, we used to talk about, from this point and throughout this point, one of the reasons trying to have multiple engagements is trying to find out what that burning issue, what that one pain point is, but also it's that opportunity to build the rapport. So you've got the trust. And one of the problems that Warren raised, I see a lot, is a new person comes in and they bring the trust, the person that they trust, that they have the rapport with, they have the relationship with them in terms of suppliers. And even though you can do what this other person can do, as in Warren's example, they don't think to ask you because they know the other person's already done it for them, so they just get them to do it. And then it's only afterwards they thought, oh, actually, could have got the current supplier to do that. But it's too late now. And also sometimes it's just an excuse. I want to stick with the person I know and I'm comfortable with, and I'm going to change, and I'll give you an excuse as to why I got rid of you. So it can sound a bit feeble and a bit nothing, but it's really just their way of trying not to offend you. But I think Warren's done the right thing. He's gone back to his contact and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, relationship's ended. If I can help in the future, please let me know." I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If it's done professionally, I think that's right. I mean, I think it's just reinforcing to your content that it wasn't something you did wrong. It's just a decision their business has made for whatever reason, and that's fine. Interesting that he told your contact before he told you, which I thought was polite of him to do that. But it would have been, at least he was clear he was going to do it. It clearly wasn't something he said off the cuff. He'd planned to do it because he told her first. Anyway, other points. We talked about the hook. What is the hook? And in the South training I used to teach, we talk about doing the diagnosis. You can't recommend a solution until you know the problem. And what is the pain point? What is the current challenge? And Joan's point about affinity, relates to this point here about affinity, about getting that alignment between values and making sure you really do, you really can meet on a like for like basis, if you like, on a meeting of minds almost. Too many other good points to mention, but all well made. Frank, Lorna, Jamie, I made lots of notes, so very useful. Good discussion, and thank you all. On the big stuff, I generally agree with most of the comments. I think we will be managing